One other question I wanted to ask you, if I could. You can totally say no to this, but um, regarding your disability approval and getting approved at, the initial application and having that done, I understand your health and your situations and all that, but a lot of people, one, they don't believe it can be done. But I'm wondering if you have any words of advice for people, because this is a recorded line that I could share, or we could share with them, that maybe will give them some sense of relief or encouragement for the process, or tips to get approved.
Well, I followed your tips, Well, I've been going to getting medical cover. Going to the doctor on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Just with all the issues I've had. So I got to believe that's helped. And in addition, I ended up getting disability from the VA as well. And I think that helped expedite my application, because it was sitting for a long time, and it would move like I'd look all the time, and it would move like 1%. It'd go from like 47%, 48% a week, 3 weeks later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once I then heard that I was approved for 100% disability from the VA, then it happened within the next month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Month and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because those with a 100% VA rating, even if they're P&T, still are having a really difficult time getting approved. So just for the listeners out there, your disability application was in place, and I see in our file here looks like on 4/15/2023 as we have that rating. So was that right around the time when your rating went to 100%? And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at 60% before that.
Yep.
From 2006 or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And then got 100%. That I guess they give you priority.
So they do give you priority in expediting the decision process. It doesn't. Some people get confused, Brian, by thinking that if you're 100% VA, that means that you have some preferential treatment in the decision process. Which is not correct. You do have a quicker decision, which is great. So the other thing that's encouraging about your experience is you were doctoring at the VA, which is typically part of one of the problems that veterans have, because the medical records are just kept differently. Is one of the things. So good.
Well, I would go through, I think, and that's what your advice, or, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos about going through the VA disability process, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just following up every time you go to the doctor to make sure my medical records reflected what was said, and taking notes before I went to them, things I needed to remind them of or whatever.
Good. And were you communicating your limitations in your visits, either verbally or in writing?
Yes. Verbally I was every time. To my oncologist, to every doctor I went to my urologist, to my oncologist, because that's what, I just started to try to make sure everything I said was put in the record.
And when you circled back to look, was it typically entered into the record?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you did the right thing.
To be honest, I just started using the VA after I got cancer and I had my surgery. That was all through TRICARE. And then I had a buddy that I was in the military with, and he was telling me, he lives in Ohio though, but he said, I've been going to the VA lately, and he's he was a hospital CEO, and so he's got a lot of experience in healthcare, and he said the VA is great. You got to check it out. So I did in Fresno. I was there for 9 years. Well, I've been there for 9 years before I ever went to the VA there. And
Mm-hmm.
it turns out the healthcare there is great. They're very responsive. They're yeah. So
That's good to hear.
VA. You know, I just never bothered. I always had TRICARE, so I didn't worry about it. And then I signed up, started going, and I was very happy with it. And that's pretty much all I use now.
Well, that's good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great tips for people that are out there. So like, the recap is when you're doctoring, communicate your limitations, review, and make sure that they're in there. And your VA rating helped the process as well.